Hi there, Will here, and today I'd like to share with you a great many things from the past year, basically, because this year has been one of the more difficult ones in terms of my photographic practice. In fact, it's by far the most difficult one, largely as a result of the fact that I sort of wasn't in a groove for the longest time. I just felt like I was making images that even if they turned out nicely, they didn't feel like images I'd made in a weird way. And what that meant in terms of output was that I didn't really feel like putting them anywhere, and I still don't, to be honest, but I've come to realize that I kind of need to, mainly because I finally, very recently, feel like I've gotten back in the flow of things, but I have this mountain of work that I've made, and I feel like having made it got me to where I am now again. So I'd like to share that with you. In terms of the photographs that you have seen and are going to see throughout the course of this, when I say that I wasn't satisfied with them, I'm mainly talking about the color medium format ones, because there's going to be a lot of black and white 35mm stuff that I just took on the Mew that I am satisfied with, because I basically use that point and shoot and 35mm film as more of a train of thought diary, and I very seldomly share any of the images that I make with the Mew, because I don't really make them to share. I make them as an exercise in making photographs without caring, to sort of try and maintain some element of spontaneity throughout my work, even though with the medium format stuff it's quite difficult not to be quite stiff and sort of overly composed with it, just because of the nature of the camera. Those screenshots at the end over there were from an app called Sunseeker, and they were from the tech recce for that Marshall job. Basically what it does is gives you an overview of where the sun is and will be at certain times of day and even points of the year, if you like. And they've got this like fancy sun astral chart thing that I have no idea how to read, but there's a function where you can go 3D map and then just hold it, and it uses your GPS location to sort of show you where the sun is going to be. And I find it incredibly useful for like recce stuff where you're going out to figure out like what photograph to make, or in that context, I was the first assistant on that job, so I needed to know like what had to be done in terms of lighting and what we need to source from the gear house and such. And it's a very useful app. It's one of 2 apps I've ever bought. The second one would be Reciprocity Plus, which I think I got the idea of from Bray, and that is also an exceptionally useful app. The next adventure was with Kent for Vans, and it started off in a relatively hilarious way because I got added to a WhatsApp group with me, Kent, the videographer, and some other person called Mikey February, who I did not know, and I kind of assumed that they were like, I don't know, second video assistant or maybe a stylist or something. And then we're like halfway to where we were driving to. It's Lambert's Bay, which is like 3 hours outside of Cape Town up the west coast. And I asked Kent, I was like, listen, who's the talent for this job? Because I mean, all I see in the WhatsApp group is like us, the stylist, and this second video assist guy. And he was like, do you not know who Mikey February is? And I doubt, I mean, who knows? Maybe some of the people that are watching this know who Mikey February is, but apparently he's a very famous surfer. I came to realize this, obviously, but it made for great hilarity because Kent and Roberto, the 2 people who I was helping out on that job, are both avid surfers, and it was a big deal for them to meet this surfer guy, and I had no idea who he was.
Bonfires on Easter. I'm asking. Come on, help Bear out. Get rid of some of the shit.
Okay, don't lose it. Hold it. Don't drop it.
Well done, Mom!
those Vans jobs with Kent, we went to Lambert's Bay and Durban, which is the first time I'd ever been there, which is lovely, as you can hopefully tell from the videos. Were great, but also quite tiring because of the amount of flying involved and traveling and such. And thankfully, directly after that, I got to take a little break because it was about June at that stage, and I went on what has become now the yearly getaway to the Eastern Cape with my family. Unfortunately, while we were on that getaway, or fortunately at the same time, I got word that there was a bunch of jobs coming up, and I actually ended up having to drive back early, or at least consider driving back early until the last second. And it's an 8-hour drive, so it wasn't really a joke to have to drive back early, but anyway. Directly after that lovely holiday, we, Kent and I that is, did a series of jobs where we had to like fly to Johannesburg and back the same day over and over again. So like wake up at 4 in the morning, get on a plane at 6, fly, land, work all day, stop working to go to the airport, fly back, and that we did that like 3 or 4 times, I think.
attention to review.
And it was after that series of Johannesburg maneuvers for various people that I realized, in spite of the amount of work I was doing, I was sort of getting nowhere all around, and I finally decided to let Maya do a fundraiser for me, which was the greatest decision I ever made, I reckon, because the amount of guidance I received from people everywhere, likely including you, or a large number of you, changed my life. And then in some miraculous way the universe lined up at that same time, and one of the jobs that I'd gone to Johannesburg for with Kent for Adidas South Africa ended up reaching out to me to come make some photographs for them. Not really a campaign or anything like that, but they had a sort of launch event type deal where they wanted to do a almost performance art piece type thing where, and I pitched it to them this way, which is also part of like what felt so good about it, is that I had an idea and then it came into fruition and it worked perfectly. But basically we made Instax Polaroids, live scanned them, they were sent over to a printing house, someone ran to the printing house or took a bike, brought the prints back, and then while the event was still going and the Polaroids were still being made, these prints were wheat pasted onto the walls around the rooms, and it was really special and sort of changed my outlook on things, alongside the fact that this fundraiser just happened and changed my life in that way. So things are looking up, and I decided to turn that into some momentum for myself. And what that meant was, firstly, I went and made some portraits for Stu. In an exercise in wackiness, almost. Because when Stu and I get together and make photographs, there isn't really any expectation, and I don't really feel the need to make things the way I necessarily normally would, and I felt like that would be a good exercise. Don't you want to put the pink one there? Because the light there is super nice right now. Let's get a like hand shadow quick. So come back into this corner with the window. Oi, stop making art and focus. Come over here. Lift your hand up like you're painting that chimney. Even more. More. Hey, yeah, that's nice. Okay, stand by. I need to swap lenses. But that is a picture. Stay there. Cool. This isn't going to be the picture because I'm doing mirror up, so it's going to make a click. That's not the picture, and then there'll be a picture. Okay. Not the picture. Cool.
Whoa.
That's cool.
What?
Just you putting it up like that. Yeah, that's cool. Stay like that. Nice.
After the studio.
Up the mountain.
Hey?
Up the mountain.
Yeah.
But I mean, is the Canon part of it?
What?
This exhibition, though.
No.
Come on, it's a new vibes, dude.
I know.
We're getting more colorful. The last ones were moody and black and white and contrasty. These ones are going to be soft and exciting and exuberant. Put that like somewhere where it's got like all the shadows and the light on it. We can use it as like a backdrop. That's nice. Stay like that. Stay like that. Don't move. Just fucking exactly as you are. That's my head. I don't want my head in it. Nice. Okay. 3. Less posy, more scratchy. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. That's nice.
Blue?
Stalinsky. Can you like half stand up so that it like fills more of the frame? Like squat sort of forward more? Even more forward? And up? And back a bit? And down, 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 down? Back a bit? Yeah, like there, but with your neck protruding a bit more. You're losing the shape here, kind of. Yeah, there you go. That's sick. That's sick. Just like that. Okay, that's nice. Okay. Come a bit closer to it for me. I just want to get some sharpness. Nice.
Whoa.
Why don't we get like a solid portrait of you?
Picture.
I think if I'm over there, it might work.
Shoulder extends. That's good work, yeah.
Yeah.
Should I hold paintbrushes?
Yeah, just go grab a bunch of shit and we'll hold it in front of your face, like paintbrushes and whatever else. It was a cool look. I like textural. Yeah, that's a cool one. You got a lot of nice plants around here, so early pollen.
Oh, you're.
No, it's fine. We'll make it work.
Down, mate. No, why not?
Yeah, up. And then have that like right next to your face. There you go. Bring it in more and into the light. Is it very bright in your eyes, or?
Yeah.
You don't need to do direct light then.
I can open it.
Okay. Keep those out and we'll just have the shadow. No, so the shadow.
Ah. Oh, that's
Like over
nice.
here. Just hold them there. Yeah, that's nice. More on the left. Keep it like exactly there. Like you'll know because your eye is covered. Okay, open your eye. 3, 2, 1. Zinger. One more. Just like that, same vibe. Nice.
That's beautiful. You're perfect as you are. You're perfect.
You're perfect as you are. Flower power. Go back. Oh, for f***'s sake. I just did something so stupid.
You can load in.
No, it was loaded, but the last picture, I put it in mirror up and then advanced it before I'd actually taken the picture with the... Stupid! Let me take a Polaroid like that. Ooh, stay like that. stay, stay, stay. Nice. And after all these marvelous things had lined up and Stu and I had made some lovely photographs, I decided it was time to push myself once more. So I reached out to a brand that I'd done like a test shoot using their clothes for before and pitched them on the idea of shooting an editorial for them. And after a bit of negotiating and coming to an understanding of what both of us expected, I ended up making some fashion photographs for the first time in a while, which I feel I've mentioned at least once in the past. Making work in that capacity in South Africa is not something that I've been dead keen on just because of past experience, but I can happily say that this was marvelous all around and has sort of shifted my perspective a bit. I mean, I largely feel like the reason I didn't like making photographs for people before in my own capacity and would rather assist was the fact that there's like a very certain way that you need to go about dealing with this sort of thing on the back end, like interacting with people and making sure that you're not going to get taken for a ride. And I don't know, I feel like I was almost too naive about it, however many years ago it was now that I was sort of doing this consistently still, like 3 years ago. And now, having spent all this time on set and seen how people interact from like small jobs to like the biggest jobs you can possibly imagine, I sort of have a good understanding of what to expect. And I've also come to the realization that I don't think I'm going to do this assisting thing eternally, because I mean, my perspective on it for the longest time was that I get to see all these interactions and then like exist in a space where I don't have the pressure of the photographer on me. But in terms of my career, it's gotten to a point now where I'm like first assistant on a lot of these jobs. And as it turns out, even if you are just an assistant, you can end up being put in a position where a lot of the responsibilities of things moving smoothly fall on you. And I'm kind of starting to figure that, you know, if I'm going to have to deal with all that stress anyway, I'd just rather make a push for it and make work myself for people, you know. So that's where I'm at now, and hopefully I'll be able to share some of that journey going forward.
Straight up, man.
Retroactively, I feel like I learned a lot this year. I mean, the first thing that really struck me was just the idea of making images versus making images that really felt like my images, you know? And it was so difficult to sort of get back in a point where I'm making things that feel like they're my work again. And basically the journey I've taken you on now is what it took to get there. I feel like making a bunch of photographs that really didn't do anything for me and forcing myself to try new things or do things in a different way, and then navigating minor successes in a manner that sort of started to feel like things were lining up again. My main downfall throughout the year though was making images and feeling in the moment like I'm making something that feels right, and then getting the negatives back and being like, what has happened here? And basically I feel like I ended up having to force myself not to have expectations until I could turn that successful feeling into an actual successful photograph. And basically this branded thing that I did recently is the first time that's actually lined up, and hopefully I can keep that momentum going now. It's just a bizarre feeling, you know, to exist in a space where for a long time me and my camera were the same thing and everything lined up and everything was perfect, and then it went away for a while, and relearning it was almost harder than coming to be there in the first place because I had expectations for how things should feel, you know? I don't know if that makes sense. But in the end, pushing myself out of my comfort zone is what got me back to where I feel I am now. And hopefully that continues to be a thing. I don't know. I feel like I'm consistently over-optimistic, but it really does feel right now like, at least in terms of my photographic output, that I'm making images that I like, which is great. Two more things that I learned. It's okay to ask for help, and the fact that I managed to ask for help and allow people to help me out has changed my life, and for that I'm eternally grateful. And that even in the face of making things that you really don't enjoy, the only thing one can really choose to do is keep making until things start to line up again. And thankfully, I feel like this has worked out for me now, to an extent. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I know it was slightly different to the majority of things I've put out here, but I just felt like this is the way that these things needed to be presented, as opposed to making like 10 different videos, because the way it's felt to me is that everything you've seen was experienced as one thing, basically, and separating them into different bits and trying to tell a story that's already happened doesn't make sense to me, because the way that I like to do things on my channel is to try and vaguely keep things chronological, and from this point onward, hopefully that's the way things can be again. I'll leave you with one final snippet of the evening that South Africa won the Rugby World Cup, and I'll see you soon.